Hi, my name's Sam. I'm building out this camper van. This is part 2 about building this upper cabinet, and this part is going to focus on building the doors, installing the hinges, and putting on these compression latches. I'm making the doors out of the same material as the rest of the cabinet, half-inch Baltic birch plywood. Each door is just a simple flat piece of plywood. I cut each door and then finished the front with laminate. The hinges I'm using are Utrusta horizontal door hinges from IKEA. It's not a cheap hinge, but there's a lot to like about them. I'm going to do a separate review video on the hinges and whether they're worth the price. Not all hinges play well with half-inch material, since the standard for cabinets and homes is usually 3/4-inch material, but these particular hinges work great with half-inch material, no problems with how they connect, so that's a big plus for them. For my latches, I'm using these compression latches because we're in a camper. As it's driving down the road, all the doors are going to try to open if you don't have something to lock them shut. Now this compression latch is a little bulky on the backside, but what's cool about it is it has an adjustable arm here, and so that you can snug the door tight when it's closed, which will prevent that door from rattling as you're driving. Now about the sizing of these door panels. When I made the cabinet itself, I spaced the internal dividers such that each cabinet section was the exact same width. But what that actually means is that not all the doors are the exact same width. It's a small enough difference that they all look even, but these center two doors are actually just a little bit narrower than the outer two. And that's because the center two only overlay halfway along this vertical piece, but the outer two have to overlay the full width of that outer vertical piece. In my set of plans that goes along with these cabinets, I have all the dimensions I used, including for the doors and the locations of the hinges and the latch cutouts. If you want to find those plans, there's a link to get to them in the video description below. Purchasing the plans is a great way for saying thank you if you found this video helpful. As I go through the install process here, I'm going to cover everything about the hinges first, and then I'll circle back to the latches. I laid out each door in the order they would go and numbered them 1 through 4, as they don't all have the same hinge and latch placement. The hinges come with just about everything needed to install them. Here's the main part of the hinge. When the door isn't on, you have to slide the orange lever on the arm to open or close it, but watch out as it has some kick from the springs inside. Besides the hinge itself, we have snap-on hinge covers, mounting brackets and screws, a location template for the bracket, and these yellow clip-on install guides. The hinges include short screws for the door brackets and long screws for the hinge body. The screw for the hinge body only protrudes 3/8 of an inch, which is perfect for screwing into half-inch thick material. The screws for the door bracket, on the other hand, are just a little too close to safely use in half-inch material. I bought some number 6 by 3/8 inch screws to use with these brackets instead. For aligning the hinge inside the cabinet, they come with these yellow guides that snap into place. In a normal square cabinet, all you would do is line up the yellow tab with the front edge and the upper tabs with the top of the cabinet, and that'd be the correct location for screwing it into place. For my cabinet, which is 16 inch tall on the outside, this puts the bottom of the hinge 11 1/4 inches up from the interior base. There's a problem though. Due to the angled top and curved back, I couldn't place the hinge as high as it needed to go. I found if I cut these tabs and removed my cabinet back panel, I could get it close to the position needed. It ended up 11 inches up from the interior base, which means it's 1/4 inch below the standard position. Remember this detail for later. I then mounted all my hinges in this position, marking the holes, pre-drilling, and then screwing it in place. I alternated which hole I used on the hinge so that the screw didn't collide where the hinges are mounted back to back. With these hinges, the way the door attaches to the hinge is with this bracket that you screw on, and then the bracket clips into place in the hinges. And then it's good to go, basically. Now, they include a template for drilling the holes for the bracket with the hinge. But the problem is that our cabinet dimensions are not the same as the expected cabinet dimensions are for this hinge, and so we can't use this template completely as is. Now, how you align this or come up with the measurements for aligning it is a little confusing, but I'll try to explain it as best I can. This template is really useful because it gives us the spacing for the 4 screw holes that we connect the door with. So we've got to mark that for pre-drilling our holes. For aligning this template, we need to think about it in 2 separate dimensions. One is where it goes left, right, and 2 is where it goes up, down. The hinge in combination with this template is designed to give the door basically a full overlay if you have a 3/4 inch thick side cabinet piece. It's not quite a full overlay, it's actually 1/16 of an inch short, so if there's 2 next to each other there's a gap, but essentially a full overlay. Now, we have 1/2 inch material instead of 3/4 inch. For our left-right alignment of this template, we need to pre-drill these holes such that the spacing between the holes and the outside of the door is a 1/2 inch plus whatever the door's overhang is. So for the 2 outside hinge locations, we're going to be overlaying the full 1/2 inch across that side piece. So that one is going to be 1 inch, 1/2 inch plus a 1/2 inch overhang. Where our doors overhang in the center dividers, we're going to overhang less than that, just a partial amount. So I want to leave an 1/8 of an inch gap between my 2 doors. So that means we have a 1/2 inch minus an 1/8 is 3/8, and then divide that by 2, 3/16. So for those inside hinge locations, our hinge holes need to start a 1/2 inch plus 3/16 inch from the end of the door piece, or 11/16 the way. I know that's a lot of numbers, but I will include a simplified drawing of all these locations and measurements in the cabinet plans. Now let's talk about the vertical alignment of our hinge template. So this one is almost more straightforward because we have a 3/4 inch thick top rail here, and the hinge is meant to basically have a full overlay with a 3/4 inch cabinet. The problem though is due to a few things we had to change, this doesn't actually work out. So for one, when I was showing mounting the hinges, I had to mount these a 1/4 inch lower because of the curved nature of the cabinet. So that means we're already off by a 1/4 inch. The other thing is on my actual doors in the van, the cabinet is 16 inches tall, but I cut the door to be 15 and 7/8 inches tall, so I could leave an 1/8 of an inch gap at the top, just so that the top of the door isn't tight against the ceiling, but it has a little room to move in there. What this means is we need to take our template that would align with the tab right at the top and take it a 1/4 inch down to account for our hinge being a 1/4 inch lower, but then it needs to come an 1/8 of an inch up for that to account for our door being an 1/8 of an inch shorter on the top. So basically, from where the template is meant to go aligned at the top, we need to come down an 1/8 of an inch from that. If you make your door an 1/8 of an inch shorter and you have your hinge a 1/4 inch below the standard position. Because of the alignment tabs at the top of this, it's not easy to have that hinge come down an 1/8 of an inch. So what I did was I took some pliers and I flattened this out. And then once it's flat, the little crease in the metal lines up with what would be the top of that template. And so I'll align that crease an 1/8 of an inch down from the top of the door. It also works out though that once this part of the metal is flattened out, it adds an 1/8 of an inch to the end of this. So I can just align the top of my flattened plate to the top of the door and mark my holes. And that was my best go at trying to explain how to align this hinge drilling template. Hopefully that made sense and was helpful. So to mount the hinge brackets, I first marked a line that was offset from the edge by a 1/2 inch plus the amount of cabinet overhang on the side of the cabinet. Remember that the 2 outside-most hinge locations will have a different offset than the interior locations. Next, I aligned the template with the top of the door and the marked line, and marked each screw location for drilling. Once the brackets are screwed on, the doors are ready to mount. But before we do that, let's switch over to the latches. Here's a close-up of the latch I'm using. To install the latch, we need to cut out a rectangle in the door that's 1 inch by 3 3/8 inches. I cut a block to this size and used it for tracing out where to cut. The latch secures to the door with this mounting plate. The mounting plate is intended to work with a very thin door material, so I had to cut the wings of the plate shorter to mount the latch to this half-inch thick door. Here's my process for cutting the mounting bracket. First, I marked my cut line on the bracket. In order to keep the piece steady while cutting, I screwed a small wooden block to the inside of my vise. With this in place, I could securely clamp the bracket down going around that block, so I could then cut along the line using an angle grinder and cutoff disc. The latch can now be secured to the door using the shortened bracket. The last thing the latch needs is the catch plate, which goes inside the cabinet. Here is my process for mounting these. First, I added tape to the cabinet edge and door edge. Then I marked the location of the latch arm on the tape. I held the door on the front of the cabinet at the height it would sit and transferred the mark to the tape on the cabinet edge. Then I transferred this mark to a scrap block of wood I will use as a drilling guide. Using the catch plate, I marked out the hole locations on this block of wood and pre-drilled all the way through. Additionally, I marked my drilling depth on the drill bit. Now I could use this drilling guide to pre-drill holes in the cabinet and attach the catch plate. I did realize that my pocket hole placement was unideal for some of the catch plates. I was able to work around it, but it would have been better if the pocket holes were either on the other side of this panel or the first one was just scooted back a bit. Keep that in mind on your cabinets. Alright, so with all the latches installed, it was time for the final door assembly. Each door snaps into place, and then I could make adjustment to the hinges. With these hinges, you can adjust the door position up, down, left, right, and in, out, as well as you can adjust how high the door raises when it's open. The adjustments are great so you can fine-tune everything to have even gaps between doors and even overhangs. I spent some time just going back and forth across all of the doors making small adjustments until I liked the alignment for everything overall. Lastly, I snapped the covers on the hinges and put my cabinet back panels back in place. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I had to notch out the front corners of the back panels to fit around the hinges so that I could get those hinges mounted as high as possible. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.